guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a follow-up basically to my makeup collection video that I posted last week on my channel. So I will link that up here if you guys haven't already seen it, so go ahead, check it out. I'm kind of responding to a few questions that people asked in that video, and I had someone who requested that I do the makeup collection tag that Georgia Harris has started here on YouTube. I will link her video and her channel down below if you guys are interested in checking her out. But I thought it was kind of fun because I agree 100% with what she says in that video. And I do want to thank, hold on, let me get the name of the person who recommended that I watch it, which is Angela De Silva. I'll thank you so much. I know I replied to your video down below with your video. That's not what I meant to say. Your comment with a response about things you wanted to know. But I kind of wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about my makeup collection because I've now filmed 2 videos on it, and I think that Georgia's correct. When it comes to things like makeup collections and declutter videos, they are hands down the most popular videos I ever see on YouTube. Unless someone's a major YouTuber who only posts like once every other week, those videos obviously get tons and tons of views because people have been waiting for them. But collection videos, there's something satisfying. I think it's because we're a generation that, and I'm not just referring to my own generation. What the hell is my generation? I'm a millennial. What is that? Gen Y? Gen Y, is that what I am? I don't know anymore. But there's definitely a fascination with us. You know, I feel like I know a lot of people who are obsessed with things like hoarders and the new what's her name on Netflix? The Marie Kondo, you know, decluttering stuff, things like that, and you know, kind of makeovers and how people organize things and everything of that kind of genre. HGTV is huge with my generation. I get that. I fully get that because I love HGTV. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to kind of answer some tag questions. I will leave the full list of questions down below, like I said, along with Georgia's channel herself. Georgia, if you're watching this, because you did say to tag you and let you know when you're doing it, welcome. I agree with everything you said in your video. So now let's go ahead and start answering these questions, shall we? So the first question is, how long have you been collecting makeup? So this is kind of a 2-part question. So I think I've had makeup since I was 7 or 8 years old, just because I used to do theater. So I had to have stage makeup. Now, let's just take a moment to explain something here. Stage makeup is not regular everyday makeup. Your foundation when you do stage has to be like 6 shades darker than your normal skin tone. You've got to have all these crazy, outrageous things that most people at the time, at least in the early 2000s, late 90s, weren't wearing for makeup. Everything was very, you know, frosted pink lipstick and glittery sparkle eyeshadow. That's come back. But in terms of like me as an adult, like a cognizant person with their own money doing makeup, I would say I've kind of had mine since I finished college, so about 5 years or so now, about 2014, 2015 time frame, which is also around the time that I started my first channel, which is now completely off YouTube. Those videos have gone the way of the dodo. So I used to have a channel back before I worked at Bath & Body Works, and right when I was kind of starting out there, or starting out, I shouldn't say at Bath & Body Works, I should say at the one that I worked at here in Illinois. But I got very off topic with that answer. I started collecting makeup then when I had first started my channel, but I'd say the collection became a real thing before I started up my second channel, which was when I was working at Sephora. And that's because when you work at Sephora, at least the one that I worked at, because we were a smaller store, less people, we got an insane amount. I was about to say obscene combined with insane. An insane amount of makeup. And I think I did a haul, and I wish it was still up because I don't know if it is still up on my channel. If it happens to be up, I will link it for you guys. I don't think it is though. Where I literally came home with 2 bags of stuff. So they definitely supply us with a lot of makeup, which is kind of what spawned my makeup collection. Adding on to the fact that when you work at Sephora, you're supposed to be wearing makeup that you can buy in stores, so that way when people say, what lipstick are you wearing? You can point them to the NARS lipstick that you're wearing. So my makeup collection definitely did get out of hand for a very long time. And when I finally moved out of my parents' house in 2016, I decided that I was going to declutter. So I've done a few different declutter series, but basically 5 years for collecting my makeup at this point. And even this isn't as insane as it could have been, because if you guys watch my channel, you know a lot of stuff has disappeared. What kind of collection do you have? Minimal, utilitarian, aesthetic, historical, etc.? I'm definitely not minimal. I think I try and have a little bit of everything where I can. One of the fortunate things for me with my skin type is that I kind of have a little bit more free range than other people do in terms of like complexion products that I can be purchasing. So I can make more excuses to buy more makeup. I definitely think I like to have a range and a wide variety of things to get to play with. Whether I'm filming a video for YouTube or it's just for my own daily life, things like that, I like to have my options. So I'm going to go with, it's a very classic, but also at the same time, I mean, I guess you could say historical in a weird way, because I do have things in my collection that are like OG YouTube products, like who the hell uses Urban Decay Primer Potion anymore? I do still, technically, occasionally. Who still uses the Chocolate Bar palettes? I mean, I do occasionally. So it's kind of a mix of everything, if I'm being honest. I'm definitely starting to expand what I buy in terms of, because I want to do a little bit more special effects makeup and kind of trying to do more stuff like that. I've done some kind of minimal special effects makeup, like my Halloween video that I did past year. So I want to break into more of that kind of stuff, which means I'll need some new and different types of makeup for that coming up. Are you a completionist? Yes. And that's the main downfall of me as a person, because I go through all these things and I declutter things and I go, great, I'm done, no more, all gone. And then I go, I'm only 4 liquid lipsticks short of an Anastasia Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick full collection of every shade. I need to buy them. And then I realized that's another 80 bucks down the drain. And then that's the story of how I end up with more stuff in declutter and then wish I had a full collection all over again. So it's definitely a repeating cycle, but I do like the sense of, I probably do have some form of OCD, I swear, I have to. But completing things like that makes me happy on so many levels. So right now my goal is all the NYX lip liners. I bought 5 more yesterday at CVS. I have a problem. How do you store and or organize your collection? Obviously watch the video that I just posted last week if you guys didn't already see it. I use the Alex drawers from Ikea, and I use the 5-drawer ones, and then I also have some drawers from the Container Store. And then in terms of out here in my filming area, in my living room, I really just kind of carry a section of my makeup from the other room into here and kind of just place it here. So I don't really do anything crazy or different. And then inside the drawers, as you guys saw in the video, and then inside the drawers I've got like little inserts. I like to stand everything like spine up, basically, especially when it comes to the eyeshadow palettes, because it's so much easier to see things that way. So yeah, lipsticks, I wish I had a better version. I'm trying to find a drawer that I kind of talked about this in my video. I want a drawer where I can like lay them all out. Which is why all my Super Shock shadows from ColourPop are currently laid out flat in a short, shallow drawer. What is your favorite thing about your collection? I mean, you know, if I'm going to be honest, my favorite thing about my makeup collection, and this is something that at this stage of being on YouTube, I am very proud of the fact, you know, I think the reason why some YouTubers have such giant collections is because they are on PR lists. And I mean, it's fine that I'm not on a PR list. It's not the end of the world. But the fact that I'd say 95% of the makeup in there, because at this point I've decluttered a lot of stuff from my Sephora days that was given as gratis. So for me, 95% of that makeup in there is stuff that I've purchased for myself. And it's kind of a pride factor for me knowing that, yes, it may be crazy and insane, but I made it. It's mine. I mean, if we had to talk about like a favorite like aspect of it, I do love the Alex drawers. I think they're really great. I would love to have like 20 of them like lined up in a row and have like each one dedicated, like this one is only for foundation and concealer. This one is only for priming and setting. This, like having a drawer for each area of the face, or a set of drawers for each area of your face, that'd be cool. And I do like the Alex drawers. I think a lot of people have come off them in recent years because so many YouTubers have changed how they store their makeup nowadays. If you're someone who's been watching YouTube for a long time, you'll definitely know what I mean. Everyone used to have, I would never get the 9 Alex drawers, but the 5 ones I think are great because you can also use them if you want to add a vanity top to those drawers. The easiest thing you do is just separate them, put a top on them, because that's what I used to have, and my tabletop is still in that closet. So maybe that'll come back for me. I just don't think I need it now because I just don't have the space in this apartment compared to my last one. What is your least favorite thing about or something to improve your collection? You know, if I have more space in my apartment, I could definitely answer that because it's the fact that I want more space and I just don't have the space for that unless I get rid of my couch. So in terms of like something to improve on, I think there are certain areas within my makeup collection that could definitely be stored better than they currently are. But that's saying that, you know, it takes time to build and get a collection to a place where you like how it looks and how it's organized and you're happy with it. And I will never be happy with how my makeup is stored. I think it's because of the OCD factor, but in terms of something to improve, that's what I want. I mean, I do want more makeup. Do I need it? No, I definitely do not. But I think there's always something you can improve on with something. No one is ever a perfect, completely finished portrait. And the same can apply to a makeup collection. What is the biggest category of your collection? Lip. I would say lip products, maybe closely followed by eyes. And by eyes, I mean like eyeshadows, as in like palettes and single shadows. But definitely lip products, if you're putting all of them together, like liquid lipsticks, bullet lipsticks, lip liners, lip glosses, lip balms, all of that together. I mean, dude, there's a lot of stuff in those drawers. The eyeshadow palettes and single eyeshadows, like if you're individually counting all my single eyeshadows, I've got like 10 Z palettes that are filled, plus 3 drawers of eyeshadow palettes. So they're a very close tie. I don't know what the exact number count between the two is, but if I had to guess, it's probably lips. What is the smallest category of your collection? Smallest area. Probably the smallest area would either be eyeliners or, and this is actually the smallest one, would be brow products. I don't have too many brow products, like in variety. I have a lot of backups of things or duplicates of the same thing because I know I go through them like water. Like I've got like 3 different Anastasia Beverly Hills brow wizzes in my makeup drawer right now. But that's definitely my smallest area. If you consider like an area of your face, brows would be their own category. Definitely have the least amount of brows. Do you have a holy grail in your collection? And I think Georgia in her video described this as something that either is irreplaceable, something that has a high sentimental value for you. In terms of what's in my makeup collection, you know, that's a hard thing to pick, actually. Probably, if I had to pick something that's sentimental that will probably never be removed out of my collection, it'd probably be one of 3 different eyeshadow palettes that I own. I have the Naked 3 palette, which was a birthday gift back in 2014 or 15 that my sister got me, no, my mom got me for Christmas. Because I asked for a higher end, because at the time all I had was drugstore makeup and I wanted something high end and my mom bought it for me and I was hooked. And I still have that palette. Do I still use it? Not really. One, because at this point I know it has to be expired. It still probably works fine. I haven't used it in years, but it's just that sentimental value of it. Something my mom got me. It was one of my first high-end products. I don't think I could bear to get rid of it. The other palette that I could say something similar to that effect would be my Makeup Forever 9 Shadow Artist palette, the number 1, the volume 1, because that was my first palette I got as gratis from Sephora. And I love that palette. I wore that thing day in and day out, and I keep meaning to do a video of like my OG Sephora makeup, and those 2 palettes will definitely be in that video whenever I make it. But I love that palette, and I feel like Makeup Forever eyeshadows aren't talked about enough, and their palettes are actually really stunning and really gorgeous, and they're definitely worth the investment. Do you ever wish your collection was bigger / smaller, or do you think it's complete? It's definitely not complete. I would love to have everything under the sun in terms of makeup, but that's just unrealistic. I don't know if I would want it to be a smaller collection, just because I like having all the things to choose from. And I know that seems stressful to a lot of people. My family thinks I'm absolutely bonkers with all the makeup that I own, but they get it. It's kind of a thing for me. It's a hobby for me, so it's no big deal there. I would love for it to be larger, but I just don't have the space for it to be larger. So I'm hoping that next year I'm trying to save up so I can get a bigger apartment, or in the near future, in the next few years, like be renting a townhouse or having a house or something bigger than just a 1-bedroom apartment. And if that's the case, great, because I would love to have like an actual dedicated filming and beauty storage room. But that's just not in the cards for me right now financially. I just don't have the extra cash to spend. I'm trying to get some other things ready in my life. Like a new car is definitely higher on the list than having a bigger, better apartment. Because my car is 11 years old and it's starting to be on its last legs. It's got like 130,000 miles on it. How often do you declutter makeup in your collection? I've done declutter series on my channel, so I'd say I usually do them about every 6 months. I did a giant one back in the fall, but then before that I did one in the spring, right before I moved out of my old apartment and into this one. So usually I do them whenever I move, because it's easier to move if you've decluttered your makeup. Now, when I move again, will I probably declutter? No, I won't. But I try and declutter. I try and declutter as often as I can. However, the thing to keep in mind is that since this is kind of like a second job for me, granted, I don't make a whole bunch of money doing this on YouTube. I earn like 20 bucks here and there. It's still fun for me, and I want to be able to have enough options, so I don't know how badly I'd really want to be decluttering in the near future here on my channel, but I did do a giant declutter last fall, and I will link that playlist up here for you guys to go check it out if you didn't see it. I did a pretty damn good job. My goal is to declutter at least 25% of every area, so I did that. I definitely did that. Do you ever get envious seeing other people's makeup collections? Yes. I think it's the only area of my life where I suffer from FOMO, is makeup collections. I know it's weird. It makes no sense. Who on YouTube has the best makeup collection video? Ooh. So since I'm a big fan of, I'm going to go 2 ways of this. My favorite person to watch declutter is ShanXO, and I know she's an OG YouTuber. I've been watching her for, God, years now. I don't know. I think as long as she's been on YouTube, I've been watching her. And she used to do these awesome, she still does them every once in a while. She declutters different areas and kind of like reorganizes her collection at the same time, and you get to kind of see in depth how the makeup is stored, and I love how her vanity is set up, so definitely her. But in terms of like the actual like beauty room setup, how I wish I could have it, Desi Perkins. Girl, she's the one who changed everyone's makeup storage here on YouTube when she filmed her makeup collection, because out of nowhere, everybody all of a sudden had the container store drawers. And I was just as bad. I'm just as guilty. I went out and bought a few of them too. But I feel like she definitely, I love her collection. And I've watched that video 1,000 times just to make me happy. Plus the fact that it's an entire IKEA system. I'd love to do that and just go and get the whole system from IKEA and just go completely nuts like that. It'd be awesome. What's some advice you'd give to a future makeup collector? Oof. Don't do what I did. You don't need every single piece of makeup that you see released, you see launched, because if you're getting too much of it at once, you're going to get overwhelmed, and you're going to be like, what do I do? And I definitely had moments like that on my channel, because originally my hauls were mostly about, Bath and Body Works, buying candles, buying soaps, things like that. And then when it started evolving into being Sephora and Ulta and Walgreens, CVS hauls, then it started to get a little out of control and a little hard to handle. So I'd say slow and steady wins the race in terms of a makeup collection, unless you're someone who is like a hardcore, like you're like a MAC makeup collector, like when those collections come out, you have to get everything in the set for a collector's purpose. I understand that there are people out there like that. I respect you for it. That's not the kind of makeup person I am, but slow and steady, start out with things that you really love and kind of branch out and do your research on what you're buying, because Just because somebody recommends something here on YouTube, myself included, doesn't mean that you have to go out and buy it. It's just our recommendations. We want you guys to know the things that we know from all of our experience with different products in general. That's the last question in this tag. I think that's everything I kind of want to say. But yeah, makeup collections are fun. They're definitely different. And I could talk about makeup collections and decluttering and organizing things all day, every day, you guys. I could. I kind of wanted to film me reorganizing that entire setup that's now in my room that I showed you guys in the last video, but I didn't. And I kind of regret doing it, but at the same time I went, oh my god, that would have been like a 2-hour video, because I literally I did the thing, pulled everything out of the drawers and put everything back. And it took me an entire day. It took me at least 7 hours to do all of it, because I took it all out, I cleaned everything, I kind of sorted things into piles of how I wanted things organized, and then I started feeding things back into their different drawers and locations, and within like halfway through I'd be like, oh, I guess I can't put this here, so we gotta now move all these over a drawer, and it was a whole process. But I think that's everything today about a makeup collection video. If you guys have more questions about makeup collections or buying makeup or things like that, just leave me your comments down below and I'm happy to answer them. I've started answering a few of the questions on the other video as well. And if you guys enjoyed this video, then, you know, thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell. I feel like nobody on YouTube needs to say that anymore at this point, because we all just say the same thing. Yeah, that's everything. I think I'm done. I'm done rambling. I have to go get on my Twitch and stream my Twitch. So I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.